And welcome back. It's the 19th of August, high five a day, and let's go straight to the first question. Okay, first one looks like a fairly straightforward circle theorems question, isn't it? So I can see I've got a centre. I know that the angle at the centre is twice the angle of the circumference. 52 times 2 is just 104 degrees. First question done. Next question. Draw a box plot. Okay, so in order to draw a box plot, I need the lowest value, the lowest quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the highest value. So what am I given? So I'm given the lowest value, which is 2. I'm given the lower quartile, which is 5. I'm given the median, which is 7. The range is 13, which means the highest value is 15, 13 plus 2. And the interquartile range is 8. So 5 plus 8 is going to give me 13. So I've got all the figures that I need. So next step, I need to put these onto the graph. So I'm going to try and pick values that seem to make sense. I need to go to 16. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, that will do, I think. Let's do that anyway. Again, try and use the full graph paper as much as you can, but equally an exam will do a better job of giving you something a bit more sensibly sized. Anyway, point is, if I zoom in, that means each of these little squares is 2, which means that each of these little squares is going to be 2 divided by 5, which is 0.4. Right, what do we need? So the first one, L is on 2, so I'm going to put my 2 here. Lower quartile 5, so actually so far not too bad, is it? Actually, that's not 5, that's 6. Say not too bad and then get it in the wrong place. There we go, 5. Median is 7, so again also in between. The upper quartile is 13, also in between, and the highest is 15, which is also in between. Now, this is using what I think is a fairly generic piece of graph paper, if you like, in an exam to make it slightly easier for you and or give you the scale. Either way, happy with that. You can see quite clearly that I've got my median, I've got my box, I've got my whiskers. Question done. Next question. A class of 10 girls and 15 boys did a test, mean mark, work out the mean. Okay. I like to do this as follows, which is the table method. So I've got girls and boys, and then I've got total down here. There are 10 girls and there are 15 boys, which means there's 25 students overall. Now I'm going to put N for number. Now this symbol here you may not know, but the bar means average, or technically mean. So the mean for the boys is 75. And the mean for the girls is 82. How has that helped me? Well, it means I can work out the total mark. So the total mark, that's just a Greek symbol for capital S, which means sum. So 10 times 82 means there's 820 marks from the girls. 15 times 75, well, not so easy, but it's going to be 1125, which means I can work out the total amount of marks by doing 1125 plus 820, and that's going to give me 1945. And of course, if I've got the total amount of marks, I've got the number of people, I can do this divided by this. That's going to give me the mean, and that on my calculator is 77.8. Question done. Next question. A rectangular field has length and width. So it's another bounds question. What does it want me to do rather than work it all out? So I need the upper bound. So I'm going to remember that the area, the largest area, is going to be the largest length times by the largest width. So that's all I need. So let's think about 160. Well, 160 is 2 sig fig, means the second sig fig above is 170, which means halfway between is 165. So that's going to be 165. 81 is also 2 sig fig, so the second sig fig above is 82, which means halfway in between is 81.5. So I'm going to multiply it by 81.5. Calculate out again, 165 times 81.5 is going to give me 13447.5. And actually I'm just going to roll that down. So 13447.5. Now, just as a slight aside, you might wonder why sometimes I round to something and sometimes I round to something else. The question doesn't tell you. 3 sig fig is often a good number to use, but obviously go with the question. Final question, and we have a vectors question. And it says, now I'm going to start here, because it says 4 times d, well that's d, minus c, which is that, is equal to this here. So let's just do that. So 4 times d is 4p and 8, 4 times p and 4 times 2. And then I'm going to take away c, so minus 3 is plus 3 and minus q. And crucially, I know that is equal to 5, 10, which means I have 2 equations. I've got this equation here, and I've got this equation here, just in vector format. So if 4p plus 3 is equal to 5, take away 3 from both sides means 4p equals 2, divide by 4, which means that p is equal to half. And to the second one, well, that tells me that 8 minus q is equal to 10, 8 minus q equals 10, so 8 minus 10 is equal to q, and 8 minus 10 is minus 2, so q is equal to minus 2. So in other words, p is a half, q is minus 2. Question done. Happy with that. As ever, decent mix of questions today. Do let me know how they went for you. Do like, subscribe. You'll see the next ones arrive tomorrow, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks all.